all the time. Like, stop playing with your hair. Here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Extra Connection live series. I'm your host, James Lott Jr. We're here on JLJ Media. I am the JLJ of JLJ Media. That's right, kids. This is my online network, and I love this show. Just celebrated 5 years, and I love talking to people who are doing things that are very interesting. In this case, very funny. And so I'm your connector to all things like this. So we're going to talk about this series that I am in love with right now. We have the creator, producer, the stars of the series. I'm going to talk all of them. So first, the creator, producer, she is here, Christy Conachella. How are you doing, Christy?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. Now we have the stars. They play Stacy and Leah on the show, and they're so at ease. I mean, I just feel like they are like a couple. Like I totally get it. Marie Chabot and Sarah Durham. How are you guys? Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Now there are folks in the chat already, so hello, folks in the chat room. They're saying hello to all three of you. So hi. Thanks for if you're here, like the channel. I always point at the wrong spot. It's some subscribe button.
Never know.
Somewhere down there, folks. Read it. It says subscribe. It's red. Like it. Hit it. Tell me what you think. Hit the thumbs up button if you like what you're seeing, because we want more of it. Hello, Lena D666.
Lena.
Oh, Stia. Okay, you already get your name, or you got your stand name already? Okay, I like that. And Kirsten Marie. Hello, Kirsten Marie, who is an ally and supports LGBTQIA plus stuff that we do, and I support that wholeheartedly. So ladies, welcome to the show. Welcome to Extra Connections. I'm glad you can make it. I just want to tell you, I love the show from the theme song, which I love, to showing the U-Haul in the opening thing. I'm like, that's taking it back. I've been part of this community like 30-something years. Like, that's taking it back. Maybe
I have a funny story about that too.
Well, no, okay, so tell me your story. Tell me your story. I thought, how ironic.
This show has been really interesting because it really started because I was so depressed at Christmas time, not going home for Christmas for the first time in my entire life, that we did the Christmas episode, and I've just been kind of making it up as I go. So we shot outside my friend's house, who we can't go inside because of COVID. And so I was trying to figure out what a good theme song was. So one of Marie's lines, who plays Stacy in the Christmas, is she says, "Now that we have the house." It's like, okay, well, they just moved into the house, and this is like their story of getting engaged and moving into this house. So I rent the U-Haul, get everything together, and it wasn't until I showed the thing to a couple of people where they picked up on that. They said, oh, it's the lesbian U-Haul thing, which is not at all what I intended. However, I am so pleased that it took on that without me really realizing that I was going into that lesbian story. What'd you say, Sarah?
I said I totally didn't realize that you didn't know that. I thought you were like completely aware.
Yeah.
Diving into the genre.
I had no idea. I was just like, well, what would be really funny? I think what would be really funny is Marie driving this big U-Haul truck and like pretending like she can't handle it. So it really came from there and then took on its own life. And I'm really glad that I did. And I'm glad that I spoke to that, because that's something in my kind of lesbian upbringing that was really big deal in some of my relationships and yada, yada. But it was 100% not intended. It was just me thinking about what could be funny.
See, and what happens out of just pureness of you, then something came out of it that actually.
I'm such a deeply seated lesbian that I didn't even notice that I was doing that.
I love it. That's so funny. Barbara Paulino says, "Hey, ladies, I love you all."
Hi,
thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Barbara. And no, well, here's the thing. So I'm just the fact that you write in the thing, it's a lesbian sitcom, which I thought, okay, since Ellen, we have not had a sitcom with that starred lesbians. I mean, there's a lot of TV now that has lesbians sprinkled out there. I mean, like, there was the Fosters, which wasn't a sitcom, it was obviously more dramatic. There's, of course, the L Word's back with Generation Q, and I was like, there's these little things like that. But I'm like, yeah, where is the comedy where it's not all angsty and dramatic, and it's just like this kind of funny thing? I mean, I'm like, but that stars something other than a traditional thing we see all the time.
Yeah, and that's really because when I am watching television at night, I'm not necessarily, especially since last year being such the doozy that it was, I can barely handle the drama anymore on television. I used to love shows like Killing Eve and, you know, all of these shows that I just can't stomach at this point because of what we've gone through. And when I just rewatched the entire series of Boy Meets World, I had some.
Oh, I love that show.
Yes, there's some really like I didn't realize how much that show had affected me until I rewatched it just now. But there's no sitcoms that have lesbian characters. There are some sitcoms that have like lesbian neighbors, but no lesbian characters. So I really just wanted to show that we're just as ridiculous and funny as everyone else. Not everything has to be so serious.
Right, because the last lesbian characters that were really featured was Roseanne. I mean, like she had Sandra Bernard, she had a few that were kind of on there. They were just regular that she fought from. This was back in the 90s. She fought from beyond there.
I just recently rewatched Mad About You, and number one, I didn't remember that Paul's sister was a lesbian who like got married, which is amazing. And number two, I didn't realize that like I'm a big fan of How I Met Your Mother, and I have always had a crush on Marshall's mom, and I never understood why, and it was because that actor played the lesbian on Mad About You.
Yes.
So we had Mad About You, we had Roseanne, we had like the next door neighbor on, I think like the King of Queens or something. And that
the rest was dramatic stuff. I mean, because Buffy was dramatic, even though Buffy was kind of some comedy, but that was dramatic. Willow and all that. Come on, ladies, you know about Willow and Tara and all that. But that was kind of dramatic. That was all. I mean, there was some comedy in it, but I'm like, I want to laugh out loud, and I laughed out loud at several parts of this series. Ladies, it's just so good. So I want to start with Marie. How did you get involved in this project? How did you hook up with Christy? How did you get on this project?
Our love story.
I met 6 years ago, 2015. Yeah, 6 years ago. She was casting Forever Not Maybe back then with Mandela Rose. And then, I got a call back, and then we did a chemistry read. Then we started shooting December 2015, and we shot that project over 5 years. That was a lot of fun. And then when Christy wrote, it was Merry Christmas at first. It was just a short to start with, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "You want to do it?" I'm like, "Sure." I love it.
Because you already had experience with her, so you knew you liked what she did, and you worked together. So it's like in Hollywood especially, we like to work with people we know and can work with. That's always a plus. At least you go, I know how she is, I know what she does. I'll trust this project, right? You'll trust it, right, Marie?
And Marie knows that I start with small projects because Forever Not Maybe started as a web series and became my first feature film.
So
hey, what she was getting into.
Small steps lead to large rewards, I always say. So you start small and then you expand. It's better to start small and expand than go big enough to go down. So I mean, I guess it's,
true.
Barbara Paulino says, oh yeah, I forgot Ross's ex married, and she was a lesbian.
That's right. On Friends, of course. Thanks, Barb.
I forgot that. Yes.
Carol.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Sarah, how did you get involved in the project?
That's so funny.
I love I want to tell you, I love your dimples. I just love your dimples.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But go ahead.
I mean, Christy and I met like right when I moved out to LA, which was about 2 years ago. And through a mutual friend, the friend was like, you should get coffee with Christy. Like, she's awesome and she's doing what you want to do.
Love that.
Yeah. So we met up, and I was like, I acted, but I want to direct and produce too. And I'm super into like LGBTQ films, like that kind of thing. Like, that's what I want my focus to be. And then what was it, Christy, like 6 months later or something, like when Merry Christmas like came about? I feel like
it was like 8 or 9 months, because we had coffee right before really before we went into lockdown.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're right. So it was much longer, but Christy just reached out and was like, hey, I have this short, like, I don't really know you, but like, you want to do it? And so I thankfully said yes and got to meet Marie and Christy and like work with this awesome team and have had a freaking blast doing it. Yeah.
Okay, so now I get to the nitty gritty. So you see Marie. So I mean, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. I mean, that's not even a question. But like as an actress, you meet your love interest, whether it's man, woman, whatever. You have to like get something together. So there's a chemistry. So I kind of want all three of you to kind of talk to that. Was there instant chemistry when you guys all kind of met up? And how'd that go?
The chemistry was there. I mean, we met and we started shooting like 20 minutes later. So.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. There it is.
That's
Okay.
what happened. I remember, I think I was very like, is it cool if I put my arm around you? Like, can I hold your hand? Is that okay? Like, are we good?
And we got tested right before shooting because it was, like.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was still like we were still in in the second lockdown when we shot it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, is that okay if we do that? Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
put our mask back on, same as.
I will say,
I purposely had written it so that the whole thing is almost them walking side by side and not looking at each other. And then I felt so bad because when we were doing a rehearsal, I was doing, my friend James was helping me. He was doing the photography for it. And so I was like looking at the shot and they were rehearsing and Marie kind of turns her head and she said, guys, we're holding our breath.
Oh, funny. Oh
my gosh, no, you don't have to look at each other. So that was a terrifying time. But I'm sorry, please. I can.
No, but that's it. I forgot about that. I forgot about that part of it. So that's even added extra. You're coming in to do acting and you want to create chemistry with your scene partner, but also you have the COVID thing happening. Because I work with the people on soaps. I mean, on the soap operas, they had the same problem last year. They were the first ones to go back to work. They had mannequins, they had blow-up dolls. It was a whole funny thing they did. But I'm saying, but you're coming in to do a job. You're coming in to make sure that Christie's stuff works out fine, but also you have to deal with COVID. I mean, that must have just been very interesting to do that. Like, I don't even know how you guys did that, but you guys did it. It seemed very natural.
I'm a mom. That's how it happened. I had a nervous breakdown the next day because Sarah was going home for the holidays, and I was like, I could have killed Sarah's grandmother. But it looks great. It's so cute. It's my favorite lesbian Christmas movie yet.
Oh, I like that. It's so funny. No, well, the chemistry I said is very ease. I saw in the writing this thing that you were saying, very Lucy and Ethel was something that comes to mind for you. So is that so? I mean, so is the series going to be more slapsticky, kind of like that? Is it? I mean, there's some stuff that goes on and some gag. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, that dress was ugly. That dress was ugly. I was like, homegirl looked at you like, okay, and I was just like, I know they're acting, but I was just thinking, and as you had it on, Sarah, I was thinking, you're doing some good acting, but you're just standing there. I was like, that thing is terrified. That's right. But then when he came out in that suit, I was like, okay, go girl. And I was like, okay, that's right, girl. She was looking at me.
I was so excited about that suit. Like, wearing that dress made that suit worth it. Like, it was really nice. Like, I walked out and was like, ooh, I feel good.
Hey.
Awesome. And you could see that too. You definitely were feeling it when you walked out.
It really was.
You were looking out, girl.
That, but.
And and Marie has some funny lines. I'm 85%. I'm like, that whole thing made me laugh. I mean, it's just the chemistry was just so. But yeah, anyway, but back to the whole. Will it get a little more? Well, will you do more slapsticky stuff, or is it more about the dialogue wise? They're always kind of going back and forth.
Oh, it gets more slapsticky, and my background in writing is more drama and like romantic comedy, but not necessarily as far as this. And what I'm having a lot of fun with this one is, when I was growing up, my favorite TV shows were I Love Lucy and Laverne and Shirley, and shows like that. Yeah, so I really wanted to kick this up a notch and see how far I could go. And I think on August 29th, when you watch the next episode about the invite list is pretty flippin' funny. But when you get to the when you get to, it's really funny. And I just threw all the rules out the door of everything I have ever given myself as far as writing goes. And I'm like, and we're going to do flashbacks and dream sequences and fantasy.
Oh, wow.
So we kind of go into that with an invite list. And then when we get to the gift registry, I just took it up even one further notch. And then we just shot one. I have two more that are in post production right now, and one of them is Leah is reading erotica while Stacy is at work. And that one, we were filming this. And I was sitting there, and I could not contain myself. How hilarious Sarah was.
And you wrote it. I mean, you wrote it. Yeah.
But it was so much more funny when she was doing it than I could have ever written.
Well, did either of you, Marie or Sarah, ever think of yourselves as comedians?
We both made the same face, Marie.
You did make the same face. You did make the same face.
In French, like I think I'm very funny. In English, it depends, you know. Maybe Americans don't have the same sense of humor.
I beg to differ, Marie. You are hilarious. Just the person standing across from you. Good grief. It's impossible to keep a straight.
So you have some funny lines. No, you have some really funny lines. I'm saying, even if I was put with that whole dress scene, you were hilarious to me.
And a lot of that was actually ad-lib. When she was in the bathroom and she was pacing back and forth, the thing about her mom, like all of that was them making up stuff to fill in time because it was taking Sarah so long to put that suit on.
Also, that was going on because I was like, it was taking you a while. I'm like, we have hearing bumps in the bathroom. Was that improv too?
Those were real.
Those are real. I'm like, oh my God, those are real.
Oh my God, it was a 3-piece suit, guys. I can only do so much. Like, oof.
Like, come on, bring the stage stuff out. You have to go recap.
I need a quick change right here.
Yeah, that's so like, we remember the bumps there. It was hilarious. I thought that was because Marie kept talking, her character kept talking. So I didn't know. That's funny. A little behind the scenes. I like that because he was like saying stuff to her.
To be fair to myself, I took a lot of that conversation and I weaved it together to what you then saw. So we had like 4 takes that we did that, and I took the funniest bits from every take and kind of made that conversation happen.
Barbara mentions, quote unquote, you're using that tone, and she's having laughing. That was funny too. The
laughing. What tone?
Right. I don't know, but again, it was realistic. You know what I mean? Like that's what couple. Like it's like a couple. That's what they were saying to each other, using that tone. Oh my God, you know, it all sounds like for real. I was saying for you guys to just meet and 20 minutes later, you're a couple during COVID on this shoot. It just seems so natural to me. Like I mean, it's like you can't. You know, it's lightning in a bottle, right? You can't always predict it. You know, you can't always predict.
I worked with Marie for on and off for 5 years, and I know I knew if I had brought her in that she would be like the glue that held us all together. And she comes in and she brings it every time. And her facial expressions in that whole scene, when she walks out in that dress, like I lose it every single time.
I did. Well, I did. I said I tweeted it or whatever to you. I emailed it to you, Christy. I was like, that scene just was like. Everybody needs to see that scene because it's just like it was the pinnacle for me. So so you guys are doing I like this lesbian content. I mean it's it's a little different than just saying it's gay. It's lesbian content.
Yeah.
So what does that mean these days? I'm not dialed in, so I'm kind of curious what that means.
I just learned on Twitter maybe about a month or 2 ago that I'm considered a geriatric lesbian. So I don't even know if I know what that means.
Oh, if you're a geriatric, then I'm really old. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's what they're calling older millennials. You know, I didn't grow up with technology. I didn't have a phone until I was a senior in high school, like all that kind of thing. So I feel like maybe my definition of LGBTQIA and how I identify is more in line with Gen X. And I think that my comedy kind of says that too. I watch a lot of comedy that's on TV. I don't understand people who are younger than me, and that's okay because I also learned on Twitter that the younger generation doesn't like geriatric millennials, so that's fine. I'm really just making content that I wish was more available on everywhere, on regular TV, on network, on streaming, and I hope that our show gets bigger and has the ability to go further as far as distribution goes and getting it into people's houses, get longer episodes. I would love to have 22-minute episodes. Currently, I'm just trying to make an audience of people who have the same comedy inclinations as I do, so that we have maybe the possibility of making that happen. So that's where I'm at with the lesbian stuff. I just want to see myself represented on screen, and that's what I keep making.
It matters, like you have on there. I believe that. I'm Gen X. I'm 52 years old, so I'm one of those. I mean, this reminds me of the throwback of. I mean, the early '90s, mid '90s were the lesbian chic was in, but there was a lot of back then just gay. They called it gay and lesbian cinema, TV, print that was happening, and then all of a sudden it kind of went away. So I'm just kind of like, I'm glad to see there's a bunch of content out. There's Pride the series, and those are the people I know that are doing more stuff, more content that is LGBTQ. I mean, all the letters on the alphabet. I'm just happy to see that because I just feel like, but I always want to feel like, where are the lesbians? Like, what is going on for them? And so, where are they? No, but you know what I mean? Like
I'm here.
You're here. She's here. Christy's here. I found you, Christy, and my life is the same. You're not getting rid of me now. No, you're not getting rid of me. But I mean, in terms of representation in art and in web series, and it's not just a side character. That's what I mean by it. I mean, I'm seeing a lot more gay male stories, but I want to see more. I want to see more lesbian stories. And like I said, I'm just trying to figure out where they are. And that's why I'm so glad I found you, because someone else that we know featured you on Twitter, and that's how I found you.
Oh, who do we know? Who was our mutual in common?
Was it Queers and Soaps? Who was it?
Oh, I hope so. I love soap operas. A lot of people know that about me.
Well, see, I work with them. I work with all the big ones. So, but I think it was them. I think it was them who got me to your direction.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you to Queers and Soaps, if that's who our connection is. And I can actually tell you where a lot of lesbians are. They're on the Lesflix streaming platform, which is where you can see our show. You can subscribe. It's like, I subscribed, it's like $60 for the year. You watch my show, I make money. It's really like an amazing thing. And when I make money from Lesflix, I make more episodes. That's what all of that money goes to. So subscribe. My whole filmography is on there, from Forever Not Maybe, my feature film, August in the City. Once Upon a Zipper, actually, I made that in 2014. It's a lesbian rom-com also around a wedding. I don't know how I always get around weddings. I'm single myself, and I'm writing all these relationship movies. And there's always an ugly dress.
There you go.
But Lesflix, One More Lesbian is a really great site. I have a lot of colleagues who have their films on that, and Watch Fearless and SVTV. Hillary Esquina, who I worked with, and Sarah, she wrote a short that Sarah and I did together called My Love with Mandala Rose, who fans really love, Mandala, who's in my feature film as well. And Hillary has her show, which is a sci-fi series with lesbian characters called Passage, and you can watch that on all those sites. So it's, all I can say is I'm so grateful for all these smaller streamers that are bringing us indie folk into their families, where we can make a little money and to continue making more work, so that we can get our representation out to the audience who wants to see it. And instead of, we can go to Prime, but it's really hard to get people's eyes on your work on Prime. There's just so much on there. So just gratitude for technology in that way.
I subscribe. So I subscribe. That's how I want it.
Thank you.
I mean, if I can help support you guys, I mean, that's great. And Sarah, what I found from you, because you said that was something your emphasis you wanted to work on was LGBTQIA stuff. So where did that come from for you?
Yeah. So I grew up on an island in Southeast Georgia.
Wow.
And I'm part of the LGBTQ community. And I think one of the big things growing up, as I can't remember what generation I am. I know it's not your generation, but
you're a millennial.
Oh, you're a millennial.
Okay.
You're younger. You're not a geriatric. You're a regular millennial.
Great. And I think one of the things, like growing up in like a very small place for me, in a very, religious, conservative place, was one of the only outlets I had to see people like me on screen was TV streaming platforms as they were just coming up, was movies, was TV shows, that kind of thing. And there weren't a lot, there weren't a lot that were accurate to at least my experience. And so I think from a very young age, I knew I wanted to be in entertainment, that kind of thing, in various capacities, and making LGBTQ content and helping, other women feel like they were represented is something that's really important to me, and a bunch of different parts of entertainment. So, yeah.
I like that. I like that. And helping other women. We like that. Women can work together, folks. They can, despite what people say. Women can work together. They can. It's like, I'm so tired of that narrative. Like, I mean, I know a lot of men who can't work together. Trust me. Oh, trust me, Marie. You're so beautiful. How is it for you working in the queer space? I mean, in terms of talent and taking roles on for you.
I mean, it's fun, and I love, like, the last shoot, it was pretty much all women, it's like, yay. Let's do this.
Different energy. I love that.
Yeah, and I just think it's important that, what I mean, there's different kind of characters that everybody can identify with, not just, the stereotype where we saw in the 90s where it's like you were saying, it's only supporting characters that were gay or lesbian or like. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
little one-offs or whatever. So French is your first language, correct?
It is.
So I always ask people this because I mean English is hard. I know, because I mean I speak Spanish. I'm Puerto Rican, so I speak Spanish. But I feel like other languages are easier to learn. But English is like, I mean, so how is it for you learning English?
I learned English like in school, but like as a second language. Like here you would learn Spanish. Yeah. And then I moved to England when I was 18. I got a job in a hotel. I don't know how. They were like, you speak English? Of course. Did not understand a word what they were saying.
That's so funny. So we're working at a hotel, hospitality. What is one thing you learned about working at a hotel?
Just to smile when you don't understand, I
guess. Always smile. Always smile.
When you do understand, too.
Yes. I work in a hotel, too. I worked in hospitality when I was like 18, 19 years old. I did a lot of smiling. So just like, hi, what can I do for you? I don't know. Sure. Work in a hotel. I'm like, that's funny. That's very cool. So do you like being over here in America? Marie, do you like it?
I am now a citizen, so... But I'm very proud to be Canadian, it's like
also woo.
I went to Montreal 2 years ago for the first time. I loved it. I had the best time. Canadians are nice. I'm like, I've been to Vancouver too. So the opposite ends, right? But I was just like, Canadians are nice. I mean, like, someone gave me a hug once in the store. I was like, they go, you're from America? I go, yes, it's so clean here. Like, do you want a hug? I go, I'd love a hug. And I get support over. I hugged. I was like, you guys are so nice. I'm like, it's so crazy. I mean, Canadians are nice. I love it up there. It's like, you guys look
that was pre-COVID. Now people would be like, are you crazy? A hug?
I know, that was pre-COVID. That was pre-COVID. But it's just funny that you always hear in America, we're told that Canadians are the nicer people than us, and I'm like, every time I go to Canada, it seems to be true to me.
It's true. It's true. It became an ongoing joke when we were shooting Forever Not Maybe that Marie was my comfy sweater. So warm.
Oh, I love that. And we love a dog. I love dogs that come into Zooms. I love dogs. I do.
Tux his name's Tuxedo. He's been trying to work his way in since the beginning of this.
Oh, Tuxedo. Hi, baby.
Tuxedo. He is a sweet legal collie mix. Yes, he's a cuddler. He's a cuddler. Hi, Tux.
He's an angel. He loves his mommy. He's an angel.
He's a sweet pea.
Dogs are great companions. They're great companions. So yes, companions. So this series. Okay, so we have some episodes coming out. I mean, so Christy, is your vision being realized? Do you feel like it's being realized?
It is. And mostly I'm just having a lot of fun. I'm really excited. The last episode that we shot, the erotica episode is another micro short that I'll release at the end of the year. But we shot our first 15-minute episode where I wrote this, actually Lisa Tedesco, one of my wonderful colleagues and one of my very best friends, she wrote the 15-page episode, and we took it up about 10 notches from where the other episodes are. So I'm really excited to start the new longer format episodes, which we're currently writing. But yeah, it is being realized. And I don't know if this is good or bad, but when I'm having kind of a sad day, I always watch my own show. Because no matter how many times I see them, I laugh every single time. And I'm just so in love with Marie and with Sarah and with the show. And I hope that we can continue moving forward. So I'm just kind of inching one step at a time, because I don't have a whole lot of money to do it. So we're going to prepare for possibly a crowdfunding campaign to do an actualized season. That's kind of what I'm working on now. And I just think each step my dream is being actualized a little bit more. And I'm also realizing what that dream is with each step.
No, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. You say you start something, and then more answers come to you sometimes while you're working on something.
Absolutely.
We're content creators. That's what we do. We're content creators, actors, the arts. This is the arts. Support the arts, people. Support the arts. Support the queer arts. Support them. Seriously, we need more positive, funny, thought-provoking, engaging queer content. I mean, I'm just on my network we have several audio dramas that feature lead queer characters. So that's just something we do. Queer characters of color, female queer characters. I mean, we feature it all. So I'm a big proponent of, when you do your crowdfunding thing, I will share with everybody. I'll do what I need to do to help you guys out there. Like, folks, give them some money. You got $5, $10. If you ever give $5, then that'll be something. I'm like, come on, people. I want to see more, because I'm in love with Marie and Sarah on the show. I mean, they're so good. Like I said, they're so natural. So I'm looking forward to seeing more episodes.
I got
Thank
very
you, ladies. Thank you, ladies, for coming on. You guys are amazing, and I'm just excited to see all your other projects. Your projects here. You got a new fan. I'll be following you all, which I am anyway. Whenever you guys are project, and whenever you want to come back on anytime. When the longer episodes come out, maybe you come back on again, or when the other big thing happens, come on, I'll promote whatever you want to promote.
So thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to be here. It's such a pleasure to meet you in person. And thank you so much for watching and loving our show. It means so much.
Yeah, thank you. It was my pleasure. So, Marie, if they want to find you on social media anywhere, where can they find you?
I use Instagram a lot. So it's Mary, MaryGib13. Christy says I have Twitter, but I still don't know how it works. But I have an account because
you have Twitter. And you know what it's under? It's under Marie Gibb.
Yeah, it's under Mary Gibb 13.
Okay.
I think.
I'll check it. I just don't really know how Twitter works.
You're gonna have like 1,000 notifications from me.
Yeah, or me too. I mean, I kind of have a few from me. So I tagged you a couple things. So you'll get it from me. And Miss Sarah, where can they find you on the social media?
So I'm the same as Marie. I'm on Instagram at Sarah with an H, _Durham. And I actually don't have a Twitter. I don't know how it works at all. So
You're probably smart.
Yes.
I'm on there for work. And Miss Christy, I know I'm following you everywhere, but so tell folks where they can follow you and the series.
So the series on Instagram is at welcome_home_series. That's probably the easiest way to find me. My name is a bit of a beast. So I'll just take you to the Welcome Home series. If you look up Welcome Home series on Instagram, it'll pop up. You'll see Marie and Sarah on there. And then on Twitter, we're at series_home. Anything relating to Welcome Home was already taken, and then I got tired. So series _home. And then from there, you'll be able to find me, and you'll be able to find Forever Not Maybe, which is the feature film Marie and I did together, where Marie plays a touring concert pianist. And I hope that you all subscribe to Lesflix and watch our show, and especially tune in on August 29th when the next episode called Invite List drops.
I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to watch the film. I haven't watched the film. I knew you had it, but I hadn't watched it yet, so I have to watch it.
Oh, thank you. I hope you enjoy it.
And do you play piano for real, Sarah?
It's Marie.
Marie.
Oh, sorry, Marie. Sorry, Marie. You play piano? I'm looking this way. I'm looking this way.
No,
Yeah.
the only thing I have a guitar here, but I still don't play.
Okay, all these guitars and no one's playing them. What's going on? I don't
I
understand.
can do lesson. I can do a few notes, but no, the piano is hard. I mean, I had a hand double and a piano double.
It was a tall order finding a French-speaking piano playing. So I went with French-speaking, and we left the piano playing to fortunately my director of photography and
That's
hand
hilarious.
double.
That's hilarious. So we can't find all. We'll find pieces of it.
But we found Marie, and I think that's the important thing.
Yes, that's the important part.
For
Very
sure.
important part. And everybody, we're all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. and all social media platforms. And I'm on TikTok. Yeah, I'm on there too. And you can follow this show, Extra Connections, 5 years old. Yes, 5 years old. I'm up for an award for this show next week. See if I win. It'll be very interesting if I win. But this episode and all others are on JLJ Media on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, hit that like button, hit that little thumbs up thing. Let me know you like it. And I'm also on every streaming platform service. That's iHeartRadio to Spotify to Apple, Google. Like I said, everything. We're everywhere you want to be. So go ahead and check that out and make sure you show people. So if anybody you don't know knows about the series, pass it on. So if you tell 2 friends, and they tell 2 friends, and so on and so on.
Like this?
Yes, you can. I can't even do it.
Oh yeah, like that.
Yeah. Tell 2 friends. 2 friends. Just tell it. We want to connect. We want to connect this series to more eyes, more ears. So please pass it along, like I will be passing it along more and more. So please do that. It's Welcome Home series. And Lesflix, I'm on there also. I subscribed. I'm watching stuff on there. So check that and support that too. Support everything. Support it all. Everyone, please take care of yourselves. Be safe. Be careful out there. Support